Is that a protester? He's very late to the game. Friend or foe? Oh, he's foe? Get him the hell out. Don't hurt him, please. Don't hurt him.
All right, in other news tonight, a number of protesters had to be removed during a Donald Trump rally here in Atlanta. Hundreds of people packing the Fox Theater in Atlanta to hear the presumptive Republican nominee.
Now, Donald Trump touched on topics from immigration to education and the economy. And of course, he took a few shots at his Democratic rival Hillary Clinton as well.
But not everybody who showed up was there to protest. The protesters stood outside the event, and some even made their way inside, as you just heard. We have team coverage of the Trump rally today. We'll begin with Fox 5's Deidre Dukes, who was inside the Fox Theater for Trump's speech. Deidre?
Yeah, Fox officials confirming here today that some 2,500 people turned out for today's rally, this Donald Trump rally that so many people that I spoke with today were excited about. This was, of course, his first public appearance here in Georgia since winning the state's primary. But as you said, there were several protesters who took turns at jumping up, speaking out, yelling obscenities during the Trump rally today.
Oh, we love Georgia. We had a big victory in Georgia just a little while ago. We're going to have another one. Thank you very much, everybody.
Donald Trump took to the stage to thunderous applause. The presumptive GOP nominee's speech repeatedly disrupted by protesters. Each time their verbal insults drowned out by Trump supporters. Speaking without a teleprompter, Trump spent much of his speech on terrorism in the wake of the deadly Orlando nightclub shooting.
And when you listen to the stories of what took place and the laughter as this man was shooting incredible people, you say to yourself, how can this possibly be happening in the United States of America? How can this be happening?
Trump doubling down on his controversial stand on immigration, saying he'd been proven right by recent terrorist attacks here at home and abroad.
I've been talking about it for a long time, and I've been saying it's going to happen. And I hate to say it again, but it's going to happen again and again and again, because we're not doing what we have to be doing. It's going to happen again and again and again. And we are not doing what we're supposed to be doing. We are taking in thousands of people into our country. We have no idea where they come from. We have no idea who the hell they are.
Trump told the crowd had more people at the nightclub been armed the night Omar Mateen opened fire, killing 49 and injuring dozens more, there would have been a different outcome. He renewed his call for a temporary ban on Muslim immigrants and called for the surveillance of mosques as part of the war on radical Islamic terrorism.
And we have to be tough, and we have to be smart, and we have to be vigilant. We have to be vigilant, and we have to have people report other people when they see things happening, because they're not doing that.
Fox Theater officials put the crowd at about 2,500. Most we talked to, longtime Trump supporters, others new converts following Wednesday afternoon's speech.
I think the country just definitely needs a change. And from my own personal experience, it hasn't been a good change through the current administration. So I'm looking for something different.
A lot of people here telling me the same thing, that they are ready for a change, believing that Trump is the person who will make America great again, as he says. He ended a speech by saying, as he has often before, that America is losing in almost every area, that he would make America great again, a message that certainly resonated with this crowd here today. And that's the latest here in downtown Atlanta. I'm Deidre Dukes, Fox 5 News.
All right, thank you, Deidre. Well, while Trump was speaking inside the Fox, the protesters were standing outside. As you can see, they were holding signs that say things like Trump is the Antichrist and Atlanta loves, Trump hates. Well, this certainly isn't the first time that tensions ran high at a Trump appearance, and fortunately, police here were prepared. Fox 5's Claire Sims was along Peachtree Street during the rally, and now she joins us live. Claire?
Yeah, good afternoon, Sine. For the most part, the protesters paid attention to the orders from the Atlanta Police Department, but there were some moments when it got heated. Over Overhead and on the street, Atlanta police keep watch over the growing group of protesters outside the Fox Theater. Most are peaceful, holding signs and sharing their views on Trump's candidacy.
I think that we're better than what Trump is representing. This is a better country. We don't have to succeed on hate and hurting people and attacking people. And what he's doing is bad for the country.
I support Donald J. Trump. Donald Trump trying to divide the country. He's not trying to divide us. Yes, he is.
Some Trump supporters argue with the protesters in support of Trump's platform.
I like his policies on immigration, foreign policy, and healthcare and education.
But it's when protesters spill off the sidewalk and onto Peachtree Street that things really ramp up. The group marches back and forth in front of the Fox to the beat of drums.
We'd be glad for you to protest, but you really need you to clear the street.
Police order the crowds back, and that's when the tensions bubble over. Officers pull some protesters from the chaos and arrest them. And some Trump supporters say the demonstration went over the top.
Signs like Trump is the Antichrist, that's just a little too far. Some of them, I feel like they don't know really what they're talking about, and they're just not willing to listen to Trump with an open mind.
Mother Nature seemed to be on the Atlanta Police Department's side this afternoon because the skies opened up right as that rally was letting out. That really helped disperse the protesters before Trump supporters came out onto the sidewalks. Reporting live in downtown Atlanta, Claire Sims, Fox 5 News.
I love you, Georgia. I love Georgia. Thank you, Atlanta. Thank you.
Well, Trump wrapped up his appearance by saying he loves Georgia. You can watch the entire speech by going to fox5atlanta.com.